Get this 11 to 1 weekdays on the Triple M network. It's myself, Tony Martin.
What? Ed Kavalee's here.
And of course, Richard Marsland. Are we in the loony bin this morning?
Oh, no, yeah.
Steady.
Woo! Battle of the Sexes.
Careful. It's not the loony bin.
Me no Reiki.
How are we all today?
Great.
Is everyone feeling good?
Yeah, great. Thanks, mate.
It is time for some medical news.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh.
Careful. Sorry, people driving in cars.
And another plop at the end, Rich.
That's strange.
Is there anything that you won't end with a plop?
The defibrillators have an effect, different effects for different people.
It's your favourite sound effect at the moment.
I think it's actually illegal to run a siren sound on the radio, isn't it? Because people driving in cars.
Oh, right, of course. I didn't know that.
really?
We apologise if you've just driven through the front of a house. Although obviously send us the details.
Yeah, and you'll make the list.
We'll be happy to talk about it.
Okay. What's going on? Why? How are you? Are you okay?
I am fine. That's the good news. I'm fine.
Great.
I've had that terrible week of waiting for medical results. And,
What did you think you had?
well, the embarrassing part is it's the downstairs department.
Oh, no.
It's the old, everything's fine.
Penis extension?
Didn't take.
Getting a whalebone put in there?
It was the old testicular you-know-what.
Oh, no.
Like a
And
twisted epididymis?
No, but I'm sitting there thinking, firstly, I'm going, I might die. And within 2 seconds, I'm thinking, oh, and I'm the guy that did all me plums.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, how is this going to read?
Yeah.
That'll be the headline.
Be great.
That would be the headline.
All me plums.
And then I got thinking, and this is before I knew that everything was going to be fine.
Mhm.
I got thinking, if it is bad, the silver lining is that'll be my press release.
Yeah.
It'll just be simply the phrase all me plums.
Right.
Is it now more of an Ormy Plum situation?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Everything's fine.
Good.
You should check, though, Rich.
Imagine
Okay.
that. Imagine if it was that, and I had to redo all those sketches to be all me plum.
That'd be nice.
Sing it.
We could give the other one away.
But wouldn't see down in promotions?
Yeah.
That'll
Wait
be
a sec. Did you guys hear that? Quickly, into the inside tank.
It's One Up Wednesday.
Yeah. Plum-based contests. That's something the boys upstairs haven't done.
It's true. But don't you think that'd be good to just put that out as a press release? So there'd be like really serious news. It was revealed today that broadcaster Tony Martin is suffering from you-know-what. Mm-hmm. In a statement released by Triple M, Martin said only, all me plums. That'd be great.
Doing?
But the worst part is, and guys, you know what I'm talking about here, you've got to do the old self-examination.
I've never had to do this.
Oh.
What is it?
Well, you're in the age group. You should be doing it.
You meant
Am
to.
I in the age group?
You're meant to.
How do I do it?
Well, it's fairly self-explanatory. Do you need a diagram?
Well, what am I looking for?
You need to walk
I
through.
don't know. I've got my doctor going, Tony, you've got to check your testicles. I'm going, check them. In this weather, I'll be lucky to find them. It's freezing outside. The landing gear is up. Anyway, you've got to do it. And then the worst part is you've got to go to the hospital and have the ghoulie ultrasound. And that's not an awkward procedure.
What do you do?
Meeting the bloke who'll do it. I'm Dave. I'll be handling your balls.
Hi, Dave.
That's not uncomfortable. And it takes like 20 minutes. I'm not boasting. That's the standard time.
No. Or is that just so you and Dave can have a drink together, get
some
to
of the-
know each other, so we can both feel comfortable?
Before they tackle the acreage.
The acreage. 20 minutes you're just sitting there while he's mapping the surface.
What, with a pen?
No, with something that go. I didn't look, but it's making this noise.
It's a scanner.
There's a fair bit of that. And luckily he didn't know who I was.
Oh, well.
Because I don't know if you remember last year I had to have the old camera up the arse.
Yeah.
And just as I'm going under in the anaesthetic, one of the nurses leans forward, just as I'm about to black out, and goes, "Thank God you're here." She couldn't resist it. Could not resist it. But this guy, he had no idea who I was, so that was good. And he was an older bloke, so and he's obviously handled a lot of this
Oh, nice hands.
kind of gear.
Yeah.
What's
Soft hands.
What's the protocol? Do you leave them a tip? Something extra special for the effort?
Well, the worst thing is, what do you talk about while it's going on for 20 minutes? And then I'm going, this is why I need to know about sport.
This is true.
Because this is the time to bust out the sports
This is
talk.
the perfect opportunity.
So, what about those demons?
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, right.
And he was in fact the whole time talking about how he was thinking of buying a plasma TV. His grandchildren were telling him to buy a plasma TV. What do you think? And I'm going, Is this for work or for home? What do you need?
Oh, yeah.
He's looking at nads all day. I've got to see them in widescreen.
50 inches of nats, mate. It's
Not
just-
taking advantage of the...
the clarity is just, it's like you're there. It's like they're in the room with you.
And then the worst part is, all of a sudden he's just chatting away about, oh, yeah, they've got the... Oh, hang on a sec. And that's the moment you don't want to hear.
Yeah, no.
And he goes, oh, sorry, screen's frozen.
All right.
It's a false alarm, but everything's
What do
fine.
you have to do? Take it to the car park? They've got the big outdoor screen. They could do in summer. They have the Moonlight Cinema. You could have Moonlight Plum examinations.
Celebrity plum exams.
That's a
At
good
the
idea.
Moonlight Cinema.
That's a good idea. Monday, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Tuesday, it's old Ratface from Kerry Ann's Plums on the big screen.
Celebrity
Wednesday,
Wow.
breakfast at Tiffany's.
Jeez.
That's fantastic.
But I will be walking funny for a few days, and I've abandoned the book I was thinking of writing, Plum Out of Luck. That's what I thought would be the title. But no, that's been pulped. Tell you what I didn't do, and my wife came up with this. This is a great idea, the colonoscopy walk. If you're going in for a colonoscopy, you have it done, and then it's a bit embarrassing, but you'll laugh about it later. You walk out through the waiting room, like with the legs apart, going, oh, geez, that bloke goes in hard. It's a big cack.
Arms of a longshoreman.
What were you saying, Ed? The worst thing to happen when you're having the plum ultrasound?
Yeah, it's for when you were saying it was quite a kindly old gentleman that was gelling them up and scanning them. What you don't want is when he's just finished the gel, for a man to walk in and say, hello, I'm your doctor, I'll be looking after you the moment, and then kindly old gentleman just legging it out the door. This isn't gel. This is a Yoo-hoo glue stick.
Just leaping out the window, pulling a parachute.
Bad luck, Martin.
Next time. What about this? An energy drink called cocaine has been pulled from US shops nationwide amid
What?
concerns about its name.
What do you mean?
Someone,
Mistake it for Coca-Cola?
Redux Beverages of Las Vegas, selling an energy drink called cocaine. They point out, however, cocaine contains no actual cocaine.
Does the makers of heroin fruit juice think it taints their product?
Yes, the popular vitamin supplement pseudoephedrine has been pulled off the shelves. Cocaine contains no cocaine. They've stolen that from Ribena.
They have.
That contains no Ribena, apparently. You like that going in, just asking for some cocaine at the... Maybe they could call corn chips hookers. I'll have some cocaine and hookers, please.
Certainly, sir.
Then I'll have some crystal meth and child pornography. That's burger rings and low-fat milk. Is that all the big news?
It's all the news for crystal meth fans.
Paris Hilton is demanding a pardon. This is what the pardon says, right? The proposed pardon. Paris Hilton provides hope for young people all over the US and the world. She provides beauty and excitement to our otherwise mundane lives.
Oh, no.
The petition reads, we, the American public who support Paris, are shocked, dismayed and appalled by how Paris has been the person to be used as an example that drink driving is wrong. I think she's written it herself.
Yes. You can tell it's authentic.
So this is all about just her being an example that it's wrong. It wasn't the fact that she was driving up the street with the lights off, drunk, in the middle of the night.
No, that's okay. And if she'd crashed into me,
Yeah.
I would have thought my mundane life has now been lit up with beauty and traction,
She's an,
car wheels in the face.
an inspiration everywhere. She encourages thousands of young women to cultivate a totally unjustified air of haughty disinterest and obnoxious pig ignorance across the world. She's an inspiration.
Tony, say that description again.
A totally unjustified haughty disinterest.
And?
Obnoxious pig ignorance. What's wrong with that?
You've got it right. I've been trying to work out the looks on the faces
That look, that
of the kids in the street, and you've got it.
global warming. I don't care about that. What's my new ringtone?
Wow. Well done, sir.
She's
Well
an inspiration to us all. But, you
Yeah.
know, we're saying fair enough. Okay, if she's going to have a pardon, why can't we all have
We'll
one?
get a pardon.
Surely we've got things we need
a
to be
pardon.
pardoned for. And what are we going to hear when we distribute the pardons? I'm free. There you go.
Mr. Inman. Now, that leads me to tell people what happens off-air when we get to work. We don't have meetings as such.
No, all the meetings take place on air. It's to the constant frustration of our producer, Nikki.
But this morning, we did spend some time trying to find that I'm free, that little grab. And so then that was about 45 minutes. I found that I'm free grab. It had one boomp in the background, and you should have heard the chorus from Marsland and Martin. Oh, no, Ed. No, it's got a boomp in the background. Back to the drawing board, son. I had to watch like a 45-minute Dutch TV interview with John Inman just to find him saying without a boomp in the background.
It was great, though. He was describing how he mastered the walk.
Yeah, well, that's up for some conjecture.
Coin up the Khyber was the answer, apparently. That's what he says.
That's what he says.
As soon as he's whacked a 5-penny bit up the clacker,
all of a sudden,
the character just came to
Mr.
life.
Humphreys.
All right, let's pardon him.
Thank you very much.
I'm free.
I just can't believe you had to watch him for 45 minutes before he said, I'm free.
No, because he was going on and on a bit. Yeah, never mind.
What do we need to be Okay, we need serious kind of stuff. Okay, here's something. We're known at our sister station, which is in the same building. Us on this show, apparently we've got the new nickname of the Comedy Nazis.
Yeah.
And this is because on air one day, we were pointing out that if you're at work and the phone rings and you pick it up and it's somebody with a comedy Indian voice going, oh, yeah, my fridge is running, it's probably going to be a gotcha call.
Yeah.
So now we're the comedy Nazis.
Yes.
We're the racists now, apparently.
I am.
Anyway, I think, okay, if I'm a comedy Nazi, it's time for a bit of a Nuremberg. I once, on national television, blacked up and did the comedy Indian voice myself.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
For what?
For a degeneration comedy sketch. And it was like, the idea of the sketch was that I was an Indian waiter who was forcing the people at the table to pronounce the words that he knew they weren't going to be able to pronounce. And then there was just a chorus of laughter in the kitchen.
Couldn't get an Indian actor?
So it wasn't like an anti-Hindu sketch.
Couldn't get an Indian actor?
Apparently not. It was
No.
the 80s. It was an earlier time.
It hadn't been invented yet?
The footage is absolutely disgraceful. I'm amazed it hasn't been put onto YouTube yet.
Get it on, people out there. Get it on the tube. Pardon him, Rich.
yeah,
Give him a pardon. That's right.
I'm
You done.
pardoned.
But Sellers did that as well.
Yeah, but Sellers was very good at it.
Yeah.
Like Satyajit Ray, the greatest Indian film director of all time, wanted to cast Peter Sellers in, and this is quite amazing, an early version of E.T. E.T. was written in the 1960s, and it was about a Hindu bloke. Satyajit Ray was going to make it, and it was going to star Peter Sellers. And then Ray went to the set of the party because he'd been impressed by Sellers' accent in The Millionaires. But he went to the set of the party and reckoned he'd lost it.
Yeah, true.
Called the whole thing off. Project went into turnaround for like 15 years. Melissa Matheson got the script, rewrote it, came out as Spielberg's E.T. So when you're watching that lovable little alien in the front of that bike, that was originally meant to be Peter Sellers in a turban. I swear to you, that's
Very
true.
different film.
Have we lost everybody with that trivia?
That's amazing.
I loved it.
Doesn't distract from my own nascent racism back in the
No,
1980s,
doesn't.
but there
It
it
doesn't.
was. But I've been pardoned by John Inman.
That's fine.
Marsland?
I reckon they should pardon the cassettes.
I'm free.
Not Monty Video in the cassettes, but
Shoop, shoop, diddy wop, come wang dang.
that's it. But the cassettes, because they're deleting them from sales.
Oh, right.
Curry's in the United Kingdom has announced that it stopped stocking cassettes. Only 100,000 were sold in the UK last year, 83 million in 1989. So they're getting rid of them. They're moving them out the exit. So now is the time to buy up on your cassettes and also your cassette recorders.
Okay, why?
Well, because you can't buy them anymore. They're going to once they phase out the cassettes,
I see.
they're going to start phasing out the tape recorders as well.
God.
Wait a sec. And I mean, Richard was the guy that said to buy up big on Betamax video
I
players,
know.
and he is making a packet off those.
Well, you've got to
Because
get...
those are in demand again, Rich.
The
You are
wa-
absolutely right.
The waters are rising. You've got to get your cassettes up to Basecamp too.
That's right.
Everything has to go over to disc now.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've pardoned
there you go.
the humble cassette, Mr. Kavalee. Surely there's
Where-
something on your resume.
Well, hopefully no one who lives at my house is listening at the moment, because apparently because I get hungry late at night, and I have to eat porridge before I go to bed.
Yeah.
Now, but porridge by itself isn't very delicious, so I have to have some honey and perhaps some Special K and some banana in there as well.
Yeah.
And I must have been stealing from my flatmates so much that now one of my flatmates keeps all of her bananas and her honey in her room where I can't get at it.
Is that right? She's sleeping with honey.
Yeah. And I only know because I walked past her room the other day and thought, geez, it smells good in there. Poked my head in and saw the delicious booty that was in there. So I'm sorry. I can't help it. I'm an addict. I'm a Still Knox style addict. I know not what I do.
I'm free.
You've been pardoned.
Thank you.
Imagine if you had a whole lot of spiders growing inside your head. Right, that'd be pretty horrible, wouldn't it?
That was that was one of the worst television programs I ever saw. What's living inside you?
Yeah.
And it was an hour on Foxtel of just animals that lived inside your body
See,
and how to get them out.
In my day, that'd be quite nasty to have spiders going in through your ear and living inside your head. But this kid in Oregon, he had that. Listen to what he says about it.
It was cool to have 2 spiders in my ear.
It was cool. He
I went
was the
to-
envy of the playground.
All of his friends stuffing spiders into their ear. Guys trying to get cats in there to outdo him.
Kestrels.
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 Snow leopards. What can I get inside here?
Where's
We'll
the dog?
find out on Talkback Mountain.
Oi.
What's growing inside your hair? Now, I don't have anything written down for this break. What does that mean, Ed?
Luckily, that means it's time for a new segment called TV Week or Kavalee.
Oh, great. You've got the letters page out.
I got the letters page out here,
All right,
and what we've
so-
got. So now, off air, Rich said, "What do you need for this?" And I said, "I don't know." So, Rich, we need some kind of theme music for this to start with.
Yeah.
So
Is
you
that
get
all?
you get that ready while I explain how it works.
Okay, good luck.
So the way it works is that and then we'll need like a yes, you got it right, and a no, you got it wrong.
Yeah,
kind
that's
of noise.
pretty
Yep.
standard in
How
a
about
quiz.
this for a theme song?
It's a little bit more south of the border than I'd hoped, but
It's Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass. How can you go wrong?
all right, you're the brass expert. All right, that's great. Well, buenos dias, and welcome to TV Week or Kavalee. I've got letters from the TV Week here, and I've got ones that I've written here.
Yep.
You two have to guess which is which.
All right, you go first, Rich.
Are we ready? Ricardo Marslandovich. So far, I'm loving the All-Stars edition of The Amazing Race. As I hope it's as good as the Family edition, which is also one of the best.
I believe that is actually in TV Week.
Yeah.
Correct, you are, sir.
Yes. It sounds like someone would have made it up,
Yeah, a publicist.
but no, it's really in there. All right, well done, Rich.
Okay, Mr. Martin.
Yep.
While in Australia, I found myself watching community TV and was very taken with a young academic known only as the Prof. When will he get his own show and swimsuit calendar? M. McConaughey.
They don't. They do not have publicists at community TV, so I'm suggesting that's pure Kavalee.
That's me. Fair enough. All right, Ricardo Marslino.
Yeah.
Bring back Springer. I wish 10 would bring back the Jerry Springer show. With all the trash that's on TV these days, what's one more tacky show? They still do shows like Big Brother and Pussycat Dolls and other lowbrow reality shows. Why can't they make room for Jerry?
I know that is actually in TV Week because I wrote that letter into them.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that
Under
it's
the
found
pseudonym
its way
Christine.
onto the page.
Hang on, reality shows are being bagged in that letter, so would they run something like that?
That's true. Controversial.
Interesting.
Well, Rich.
What are you going to go, Rich?
I reckon it is in there. I reckon.
You're absolutely right.
Oh, it is. Controversial.
Tony,
Yes.
get stuffed, ABC programming. Who does the cast of On the Buses have to screw to get on in prime time? I bail up people about this in car parks all the time, and they always agree.
Well, it sounds like something I would have written, but it wouldn't have been on the buses. I would have mentioned Spaced,
Would you?
or I'm Alan Partridge,
Would you?
or Phoenix Nights,
Would you?
or Brass Eye,
So,
or all of the thousands of great British comedy shows they don't play because they don't have catchphrases like Catherine Tay's in Little Britain, and we can't put them on oven mitts and sell them in our shops. They're just brilliant, brilliant shows we're never, ever going to screen because we hate you. That was my letter.
correct. Correct.
Catchphrase. When did the ABC become catchphrase comedy? Just put Dick Emery back on.
Put him on. Yeah, I know,
Are we
Tony.
going to air? Sorry,
I
I
think
just thought
so.
we were down in the lunchroom.
Finally, Richard. Thank you, Channel 10. Your amazing docudrama, Bondi Rescue, was the perfect mix of real-life drama and hot bods. I've now taken up surfing, if only to meet the lifeguards.
Oh, that's got to be real. That's in TV Week.
From our Marsland. Absolutely right.
Hey.
It's all true. Well, that's it.
That was pretty slick.
Really?
There was no cock-ups.
No.
You didn't read out your sandwich order by mistake. Or something. Hey,
Yeah.
what would it be
No,
like?
no, our outro music. Rich, outro music.
Come on, let's get down there.
What do you got?
Let's get south.
Well, buenas noches. That was TV Week or Kavalee. Join us again tomorrow.
More Mexican fun in a moment. I'll get this. No sign of Guzzi at this
No
stage.
Guzzi.
Still stuck in traffic. In the meantime, we really must congratulate Jose Ramos Horta, winner of the Nobel Peace Prize. Wow,
Did he win?
Who was he more peaceful than? There was somebody else. Oh, Francisco Gutierrez Luolo had his ass kicked.
See, the thing about Guttolo is he's all right when he's during the day, but at night he's punchy.
That's right.
He's punchy.
Simply not peaceful enough.
Yeah.
Can you fight over a peace prize? Can that happen in the bar afterwards?
If it's a draw, they have a greasy pole and a sack fight.
Fantastic. Remember that we were selling beverages in East Timor last year, the Jose Ramos water. That was very popular. But we were blown out of the water by the popular banana guzmao. You can't beat the banana guzmao. Banana guzmao, banana guzmao, East Timor's favourite drinker nation on the brink. There's just time to sink one before your house is razed to the ground by a bunch of naughty kids. Oi, it's a catchy jingle. Have a nice, refreshing banana guzmao if you're in East Timor. No sign of Guzzi. I want to ask you about something before he gets here. Working in the video shop.
Yeah.
Were you telling me the other day off air that people would bring back tapes in the wrong box?
Always.
And there'd be sex tapes from home?
Yeah. Sometimes people would have their own. A lot more people than you think make sex tapes. Like if we did a quick straw poll in this room, probably all of you except me has done it. And then so it's a lot more people than you think, and they would return them, and we would watch them. When the shop closed, we would close the doors.
And then rent them out?
No, we just always watch them. But no, sometimes it was people's boring 21st or their trips to Greece.
Yeah.
But you sit through that. Sure enough, the giveaway is always the shaky kind of camera work as they put it on the tripod, and whoever's doing the filming, the other partner sitting on the bed going like, "Oh, this will be fun. Oh, goodness, this is going to be..." Here he is. Come on, Ingus. Save me from this story.
But what was the funniest box that someone said their sex tape back in?
Fern Gully.
Fern Gully, the last rainforest.
Fern Gully, the last rainforest.
Here he is. A round of
Guzzi
applause.
Sampson.
Guzzi Sampson.
We love
And look
it.
at Winston's here as well. There's some Labrador in there. I'm certain there is.
He's found my crumbs. He's found all my discarded bits of minestrone. And
Have a
he's
seat,
lapping
Guzzi.
them
How
up.
are you? Have this microphone. Just do your mic test. What's
Hello. Nice budget.
Very nice.
I've been overseas for 6 weeks, and I took a photo, especially for you guys,
Thank
but
you.
more importantly for Tony.
Okay.
And see if you can tell me where you think this is taken. Tony can't see it.
Yeah.
That's got to be the star.
Oh, it's the Tony Martin star on the Hollywood Walk.
Surely.
I get about probably 20 copies of that photograph sent to me a year.
And
I'm sorry.
No, that's actually the most perfectly framed one so far.
There you go.
Look at the lighting on it, though.
That's fantastic.
It almost looks like the Star Wars
See,
titles.
What is different? It's brilliant. It's raked. But what's different about your one is this is the first one where somebody's genitalia isn't in the shot as well. That is the first time I've got a clean one, so I need that for the website. That is fantastic,
I'm going to
Guzzi.
give that to you, Tony, and I thought it was very appropriate. And do you know, I don't know if you know anything about Tony
Yeah,
Martin,
I
but
certainly do.
I knew you would.
Yeah. He's still alive. He's about 100 years old, and he's married to Sid Charisse
Charisse.
from Singing in the Rain.
And he did a couple of films with her. But Tony Martin, to my left, and Tony Martin in America, he's one of 3 people with 4 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Right, 4?
He's got 4, or you've got 4. There's one guy, Gene Autry.
Yeah.
He's got 5. So there's 5 disciplines you can get them for: radio, television, music, film, and theatre, maybe.
Oh, yeah. So who are the others with 4? Stephen Baldwin, I think, would be one.
Yeah.
Dom DeLuise.
I love Dom DeLuise.
You could
He does caporal well.
He
wears
does.
capes.
He's been flying the K for a long time.
ahead.
Dom DeLuise. I reckon when they make the Dom DeLuise biopic, I reckon you could do it, Gus.
What about Chevy Chase?
You reckon you could play Chevy Chase?
Yeah.
Nah, Gus. You don't have the bum chin.
I tell you what you might be able to go for, Fletch, the new Fletch.
Sure. Is it
Zach
Kevin Smith
Braff?
writing it still?
No, Kevin Smith had a meeting with Chevy Chase and didn't like him and was suddenly off the project.
Ouch.
Was it Jason Lee who was in line?
It was going to be Jason Lee, then it was going to be Zach Braff.
No.
And now Zach Braff has pulled out, so it's
Yay.
anyone's go.
It's anyone's game.
Yeah, anyone could be the new Fletch.
Be great as Fletch.
Yeah, I don't know enough about the Lakers, though.
You know about James Worthy? Vladdy Divox?
I do love Bloody Divox.
Thought you
I
might.
kind of look a bit like him at the
You
moment.
do, yeah.
I hope they'll have the Harold Faltermeyer music back. What was that great line where the dog attacks Fletch? He's in the car, and that's right, and the dog leaps up, the guard dog,
Oh, yeah, Doberman.
and Fletch goes, "Look, defenseless babies," and the dog runs off.
Is that also the same movie where he gets thrown in jail and he says to the guy, "What are you in for?" And he goes, "Raping a dead horse." And Fletch goes, "Trying to cut back myself."
Is that the? I think the inmate's name's Bend Over.
Okay.
It is.
That would make sense.
I'm pretty sure it is.
And everything is charged to the Underhills.
Yeah.
Yeah, put it on the Underhills account.
All right. I think we're losing people.
No, sorry.
Angus Sampson is with us, obviously, and when he comes in, we like to get him to drop a name or two, and then the listeners call up and they drop some names, and it's amazing how many of the names they drop, Guzzi seems to have worked with them.
Right, Guzzi.
So who have you got for us today?
Can I start off?
Well, you start. Like, don't.
Will Arnett.
Will Arnett, Job from
Joe.
Arrested Development.
Arrested Development. Okay.
Any love?
Met him?
I haven't met him, but
You do have a magic act,
okay.
and you love Europe's The Final Countdown.
I do.
That'll do.
He's amazing. I do. I do have a story for you. I did have a night out in Los Angeles, and I did spend an evening with the actor who plays George Michael.
Well, that's pretty...
That's
perfect.
close.
Michael Cern? Is it Michael Turner or something?
No, he was very graceful. I don't know. Maybe I did have Easter with.
Is that Leonardo DiCaprio?
Oh, come on.
That is. Guzzi and Leo.
Is he
and
holding a baby deer?
it's a kangaroo.
Fair enough.
I went to this lunch for Easter at this gentleman here is the CEO of Universal Studios,
right.
and I wandered in, and I didn't actually know what was going on. I was invited, and as I entered, the King of Queens left.
Fair enough.
Whoever that is, I'm like, loser.
Yeah.
Ended up walking in. I was like, what is going on at this place? There was a petting zoo. There was turtles and llamas and jumping castles. And I walked in and went to the buffet and
Good plan.
had my
How
dirty
was the
shades
food?
on. Amazing. I had my dirty shades on. This guy was looking at me and I went, I think I know you. And I sort of went back to the cranberry sauce.
Yep.
And this guy was looking at me, and I looked back up. I walked over, and I looked back up to talk to him and say g'day. And just before I said anything, I heard someone talking to him. It was Courtney Love pitching him The Departed 2.
You are joking. Courtney Love is pitching The Departed 2 to Leonardo
True
DiCaprio.
story.
And there's already a Departed 2
there is already
because it's based on the
sure Infernal Fest 2, and there's also Infernal Fest 3.
There is.
The prequel, and they're going to make all of them. So
Yeah.
Courtney Love probably doesn't
Out
have
of
the
the-
rights to that.
But it was an interesting day. I did, have a few out of body moments chatting to someone, and then realizing it was Kenny G.
Kenny G.
Really?
Okay, how many names have we had in the last 90 seconds? Courtney Love, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Kenny G.
Spielberg?
No, that's Robert. Bobby. De Niro.
That's not Robert De Niro.
True story.
He's got a baseball cap on. It's very blurry, and that is Robert De Niro.
Okay, they're all loser names, all right? You want some real names?
I want some real names.
Hit us.
What about Bijou Phillips?
Oh, Bijou.
Now that's more our end of the ball.
Was she in SFW back in the day? Stephen Dorff?
She's in Hostel too.
What about the listeners? They're chomping at the bit to
Tell you what,
name
though,
drop
it's,
you.
it's a big list at the moment. Bijou Phillips.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, the cast of Cabin Fever. I mean, you want...
All you have to do is call us up, tell us the famous person you've bumped into, and somehow Guzzi will find a link to himself.
Hello, David. How are you?
I used to work at a hardware store in the North Shore of Sydney. We used to get a few celebrities come in, Bob and Blanche,
Yes.
Where in the north of Sydney?
North Sydney.
Interesting.
Good, yeah.
Used to study there
Cameron.
myself.
Who else you got at that shop?
Kurt Pengelly,
Yeah, from NXS. Anyone else?
Ray Martin, Peter Overton, Jessica Rowe,
Channel
Jeff
9.
Harvey.
Jeff Harvey.
My sister used to go to school with his daughter.
There we go.
Yes, there's the link.
There it is.
Anyone else on that list?
One of my first ever experiences with a television studio was my sister answered a phone-in, a call-in thing, an advertisement, and her and I attended Ray Martin Presents Tom Jones.
Wow.
And then we were such good studio audience members, this is when I was maybe 14, we got invited back for Ray Martin Presents Billy Crystal.
Oh.
Wow. Okay, well, Guzzi's linked himself to two of those names. That's pretty good.
Were you in the audience for Ray Martin's, what is it, Good Blokes and Aussie Heroes?
Top sorts. And
Well, I think we started to get a bit of a fan base because we got invited back to be a swinging voter in the New South Wales state election current affair a couple of months later.
Ray Martin has got to bring back those
Those
what
are
were Good
fantastic.
Sorts and Top Roots. I can't remember what they
can't
were
remember
called.
what they were.
Who else is dropping one?
Stephen, how are you?
Not too bad, how are you?
Ah, mate, we're excellent. Drop away, my friend.
I was a tyre fitter and I changed tyres for Elle McPherson.
Is that a metaphor, or you changed tyres for her?
I changed tyres for her.
Okay.
Also did Kamal.
He also
did come up.
Guzzi, anyone on that list you're connected to?
Okay, what are the first two?
Elle McPherson.
Elle McPherson. I once attended the Logies with her, and I wasn't watching. I was a bit nervous. I didn't know if I was meant to be speaking to the press or if I was meant to be walking forward. I was looking at some press on the side, on the left, and I actually walked into her back.
Yeah.
Okay. And I got makeup over my suit.
Oh, that's a link. That's definitely a link.
I don't know if that.
And Stephen, are you still there?
Is Angus Sampson the fellow who said on their ad, you know who else loves it, your mum?
Was that you?
A couple of years ago?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, that's a yes.
Thank you, Stephen.
That's a connection.
Hi, John. How are you? John.
Hi.
There you go, mate. What do you got for us?
Good. I walked into Katie Lang walking out of B105 in Brisbane.
Okay, yes. Leaving in disgust, I'm assuming. Is there a link to KD Lang?
Well, you're sitting next to her right now.
Yes, Ed Cavalee's best lookalike.
You are. If you were, I could shave you with an open blade like she was on the
Shave
cover
away,
of
my
that,
friend.
Esquire magazine. I do like Tony Bennett. I don't know if that.
No. Oh, well, I think this man is the first to stump you, although the Kavalee link is pretty strong.
Yeah.
So.
Look at that.
And that's a damn fine lookalike, so we're going to give that one a pass. Who else wants to have a crack?
Dino, how are you, bro?
Hi, guys.
Talk us through it.
Patrick Stewart was out here filming Moby Dick
Yes.
at Point Cook in Melbourne.
Yeah.
And anyway, I was at a corporate event. It was a race day at Calder Park. And unbeknownst to me, I was actually standing in the chow line, the buffet line. And someone pointed out, that's Patrick Stewart.
Right.
Now, I thought I'd be cool about this and, not have him authenticate ears or anything.
No.
I thought I'd be cool.
You didn't try and trick him into saying the phrase, make it so?
Well, actually, this is where everything went completely wrong. I patted him on the shoulder and I started chatting to him, remember, not to gush. And he said, well, I wonder how fast these cars are going around the track. And this is where your brain sort of cheats you.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, they'd be doing better than Warp Factor 9.
Oh, Dino.
And he replied,
I hate
that's
you.
That's the thing. My whole brain shut my head down and said, no, you're out of here. I have no idea what the response was.
She just said nothing.
She just red flagged herself and left. Well, Patrick Stewart, any link to you, Guzzi? None at all.
No.
What about Star Trek? Surely you've met someone from Star Trek. Come on, Guzz.
I did see LaForgue's glasses once on display at a comic book convention in New York.
That is the saddest attempt ever. That is pathetic. I think Dino has finally broken the back of Guzzi.
Oh, that is great.
There are so many great ones on the line.
I saw someone's got George Wendt.
Yeah. Well,
I had a George Wendt thick shake at the Cheers bar in Boston.
Not good enough.
Oh, come on!
I've got the Zoo magazine.
Always a good idea.
This week they've got their 100 celebrity sex tips. Whoa. Things you can try out at home. Lindsay Lohan. What's she saying? Sex in the City changed everything for me because those girls would sleep with so many people, and that's me. It's the variety of partners everyone likes, especially at my age, which, going by this photo, is 48. She's playing it hard, isn't she? Looking like Ally McGraw.
She's partying hard. She really is.
It's not taking a toll on Lindsay Lohan.
No.
Madonna, this is what Madonna says. Effeminate men intrigue me more than anything in the world. I see them as my alter egos. I feel very drawn to them. So Madonna's looking for an effeminate man.
I'm free.
Of course.
There's one.
What's she looking for? She's looking for herself, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
What she's trying to say there. Orlaith, I don't know who Orlaith is.
Who's Orlaith? A model of some sort?
UK model.
Great. There we go.
She's pushing the wheelbarrow. The sexual position known as the wheelbarrow. But it did confuse me because she goes, oh, you want to try the wheelbarrow in the bedroom? The wheelbarrow requires strong arms, but it's well worth it for the results.
Just the results.
Just somebody standing there. Peter Cundall in the bedroom.
Peter Cundall from Gardening Australia.
With a wheelbarrow. Okay, what do we do with this?
No, it's working for me.
Apparently the results are sensational.
Just stay there. Just don't move.
Well, you're talking about a former prisoner of war.
Really? Oh, really?
Who, or Lath?
I love Peter Cundall.
Okay. Do you?
Yeah, he's great.
I hope that statement was clean so that we can bag it up for the end of the show. I love Peter Cundall.
You look a bit like him.
No, that's a good thing. I think
As a
Peter
younger,
Cundall
you
has
could
aged
play
very
him as a
well.
younger man.
Yeah, you're pretty Cundall.
I can't wait for that episode of Gardening Australia, though, the wheelbarrow. Excellent stuff. Just hoeing around.
What about Katia and Jay, who have the weekly sex masterclass?
Yeah, it's a tough class.
Do you attend?
And if you miss a lesson, it's really hard to catch up.
Charlie of Seven Hills in Queensland has written into him and said, after my sporting idol was busted shagging in a pub toilet, I can't stop thinking about doing the same with my missus. But she thinks it's gross.
Yeah.
How can I convince her? Katia replies, to me, pub toilets are about as sexy as a morgue, but if you're dead set on the idea, why not give her one in the bathroom at home?
That's nice.
If you perfect your technique there, she might be more willing to give it a go.
Yeah, and then you know what it is? It's about easing people into these things. So first of all, they do it in the bathroom, and then he just gets a couple of people to sort of hang around, other blokes to hang around in the bathroom,
maybe
just peeing in the sink.
Throw up on the floor a few times.
Throw up on the floor. A few sort of disgusting posters. Then you get some kids to come in and do some graffiti. Got to ease yourself into these things. You know, a few footballers doing some gear in one of the cubicles.
It's quite a turn on, but keep this in mind. This is in the, now I don't want to offend people, but this is in The Age in Melbourne today. This is a big news story on page 5, I think, of The Age. Rare throat cancer linked to oral sex. So oral sex can give you cancer. Finally, a new use for the phrase cancer stick. Stop. It must be Friday.
No.
I'm down to 3 a day, says Lindsay Lohan. Sorry. All jokes must go. Now, what are we doing here? Are we having a sexual demonstration in the studio today?
Are.
All right, okay.
Look, this is an article. Hong Kong, a student newspaper, is being probed after a survey it published asked questions, do you fantasize about having sex with animals?
Oh, really?
The Television and Entertainment Licensing Association is cracking down hard, saying this is not the kind of thing that we should be publishing and, you know, this is not the kind of thing that people should be thinking about.
Okay.
So I've devised a little test.
Have you?
Yeah. Ricardo Marsland.
Yeah.
Can you see the little heart monitor I've set up there? I've borrowed the lie detector. I've borrowed it from Today Tonight. So if you just wouldn't mind strapping it on for me.
Crank it up.
Crank it up. Okay. Everything seems to be normal there.
That's hurting.
Yeah, that's quite. It beeps so loud.
Maybe just the volume a little bit there.
Yeah.
If you could.
It's really cutting through the tinnitus, that one.
Quite irritating.
Okie dokie. So, Rich, I'm just going to ask you a series of questions. We'll see if we can get any response. There's a new Pavement album out.
Yeah. I'm very, very excited.
No, I'm sorry. There's no response there. No response there. Here we go. We've got a grab here. Let's have a listen to this.
Mr. Soderbergh, today's scene, I think, would be a good opportunity for me to take my shirt off.
There you go.
Oh, that's Matthew McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey.
Your favourite.
Yeah. No, I'm getting there.
Yeah. No dice yet. Okay,
Could still be a tad quieter, I reckon.
Yeah, let's.
My ears are bleeding.
I've got a few things going on.
And then let's have a listen to this. See how we go. Okay. Yes. And.
Yeah. Well.
Terrible. Richard, please.
Oh, sorry.
Family program.
I can't help myself.
Jeez Louise.
Wow.
It's like we're back in the donkey courtroom. There's now a petition.
This is awful.
There is now a petition to get Donkey Courtroom into one of our podcasts.
Get it on.
Oh, hello everyone. Tony Martin here. Technically, the podcast has finished, but we have had a lot of requests. Can you believe this, Richard?
Well, I can, because radio schools around the country are clamouring for this bit.
Okay, Donkey Courtroom. We're not going to edit this at all, are we?
No, this is going to go as if it went to air, live and magic.
There it is. And remember, you asked for it. Bye. All right, Ed, you have got, in amidst the sandwiches and falafels and...
No. It's a tuna. It's a homemade tuna salad today.
Yeah.
And a chicken sandwich.
It's starting to spread across the entire desk here.
Delicious.
And underneath all that, I can see yellowing bits of paper, newspaper articles going back to, well, the bicentennial from what I can see.
You've got a choice, Tone. Let's have a bit of choose your own adventure. You can either have Donkey Courtroom, or you can have breaking into the lucrative Chinese market, or you can have letters of the week.
So all the things you've been promising at the top of the show for the last 5 weeks.
Yes.
We can have one. I like the sound of Donkey Courtroom, Mr. Kavalee.
Okay, thank you. Well, all right.
Except we don't have a donkey, so okay.
So donkey / horse. So now listen, a bit of backstory. So I'm going to point at you, Richard, when we need the stuff. Okay, everyone, now just suspend your disbelief now. So here's a story. Buddy the donkey appears as witness in a dispute between two neighbours in Dallas.
Right.
The first witness called in a lawsuit in Dallas is a donkey called Buddy. However,
A witness.
a witness in a
Is he giving testimony?
He-
Is it hoof on the Bible? Oh, sorry. Okay. Preempting.
Yes. Okay. So so now we're going to cross live.
Are we?
We're going to cross live to the courtroom where Buddy the donkey is on the stand. Yes.
Yep.
We're all good. Not yet, Richard.
Not yet.
Disbelief suspended.
Interest suspended at this point.
Buddy, thank you. I'm a lawyer. Buddy the donkey. On the night of the 10th of April, were you in your stable? 1 stamp for yes, 2 for no. Yes. Were you of sound mind? Did a man approach you? My knuckles hurt. Did you know him? In your statement, you say he approached you and kissed you on the neck and nose. Is that right? And is that man in court today? Let it be known that Buddy waved his nose at Richard Marsland. Yes, Richard.
It's a lie. It's a flaming lie.
Clear the court.
It's a lie. It's outrageous.
Would that have made sense at home? Because I'm completely confused. I'm completely confused.
Weird fingers. Gee.
Why not background noise? Did you get some courtroom atmos?
Tony, you're up with Matt all day recording your smashing glass and worrying about half syllables. I don't have time to get in there. I have to do these things live.
I see what you're trying to do there.
I think that worked.
That was a boarded up theatre of the mind. That's what that was.
I know what you're saying.
It's a theatre restaurant of the mind.
You wanted something like this. It's a lie. It's a flaming lie. That's the way.
That's it. That's what I was looking for.
Can we go back and drop that into what unfolded before?
Adelaide, Ken.
Get this, it's blown out to 2 hours, 11 to 1 weekdays on the Triple M network.